Alright, what's going on, guys? This is Mia Sid, and today we are here with the man, the myth, the legend, the mighty Monkey D. Simon. What's good, my man? So, what
How
did
you
you
doing?
manage to do? Was it last weekend? I forgot, bro. You were in Japan. You were
It was a
freaking
few days.
out.
It was a couple of days ago. It was last weekend, last Sunday. I finished t top eight in the UK National Championships 2025.
Okay, nice. How many players were at the UK Nats?
It's either 1400 or 1100. I can't remember.
That's
Yeah, I think
basically a
last
big.
year was
Yeah, that's a
1400. I can't
YCS.
remember what. Hmm?
That's like a YCS. In terms of numbers.
Yeah, and actually something that was quite surprising, which I didn't realize, is the tier three UK national championships in Europe now. They're different tiers, right? The smaller tier one and two, they only last a day and they have different pricing.
Like
But
the
tier three
opens.
is the highest, so like Italy, France, Germany, and UK, they're 2-day tournaments, so that it's 11 or 12 rounds and then cut to top 64 or 32, kind of like a YCS. And now, in the past, um, if you win, you get a super rare prize card. Now you get an ultra rare prize card, like a YCS. I didn't know that. I didn't know that until like
Ah.
after the event.
Okay, okay, that's actually kind of cool because honestly, as a North American player, obviously, it's really hard for me to like relate to like these nationals because we don't have that. So if you're like
Yeah,
Canadian or American, it's really hard to like even just imagine like what would it be if we had access to those events because we just have any WCQ and that's it. Obviously, you guys still have the European WCQ, which is
mm,
basically the exact same thing as our event, but yeah, the nationals, it's to us, it's kind of like a big regional or like a YCS, but it's not. It doesn't feel as
it's
like
like
premier. I don't know.
it's like I think Americans generally in the past have felt that way too. In my opinion, I think the tier three national championships are YCS level, or at least like maybe just for slightly short of YCS level, especially if the numbers are the same and also the like the number of rounds is the same as well, and the number of top cut is the same, and pricing is similar-ish. But I wouldn't call the tier one, tier two national championships as like YCS or Premier level. I think like other countries, South America, Latin America have national championships as well, right? So it's
Yes.
only the US, it's only Canada and North America that doesn't have it.
Uh, yeah. I think Oceania also they have like state championships, I believe.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
they do as well.
Mm. Yep. But yeah, no, that's awesome, fantastic. All right, so will you go through like the deck list and everything with us?
Yeah, I play Mitsurugi Risal. It's a very standard deck right now, so I'm not going to explain like lots of choices. I just want to talk about some of the meta that has changed from like when this deck first came out. So it
Mm-hmm.
was Wes's Providence when the new set came out, and this deck itself hasn't actually changed all that much, right? So if you look at the list, it's still the nine major. Sorry, the Droll, the Charmies, Frivolous and Perulia in the main deck, which
With one
is
Nibiru,
what
yeah.
most people are doing. So that part of the meta hasn't really evolved all that much since then. I think the only changes that I think was significant that I liked was in French nationals, a lot of the really good French players, Gabriel Susi included, they played Malice without Charmies at all. So they play real hand traps. They play like Veilers and Imperms and I think he had an ogre sided as well and DD Crow sided.
Mm.
So his theory was he didn't want like the Charmy Wars to get ashed and not have like a real hand trap, which I do understand to a certain extent.
Mm.
The other trend was that people were starting to lower the ceiling of Mitsurugi Risal and
Yeah.
not really play like Node, Star, sometimes even Cross. Play more of a Mitsurugi side, and then there's pure Mitsurugi as well, and then there's also Mitsurugi Fiendsmith, like somewhere along the line. But so I thought about Malice, right? I thought I almost played Malice, and I think Susie's build was like very very good. The only issue is um it, like the hand traps, the little hand traps like Vela and stuff like that. If you're up against Mitsurugi Risal going second, sometimes they feel like you're hand ripping yourself. Sometimes you have to throw like three or more to even do anything to stop them. Um, what I liked about it is it's like a pro against for that deck against this deck is that when you get stopped. when you're going first, you don't have the Charmies in your hand. That's the problem with this deck. If you get drawled on, let's say, seven Tachyon, right? So you just end essentially, and you have and no, not seven Tachyon. Maybe, let's say like an X Ryzeal, right? So you have a card on the field. You just essentially end, or you summon something and make a detonator. You summon like a sword and make a detonator, right?
Yeah.
And then you just have dead charms in your hand. Whereas like his build, if you get Landseared, you have actual real hand traps in your hand. So that's the major issue. But I think overall, it's if you still resolve like a draw or Charmy, you're in a much better position than just resolving like a random one, like a Veiler or something like that. You have to have so many cards.
I agree with everything you're saying. Obviously, at the end of the day, it's just like a difference of like philosophy. People are they're gonna be making like different decisions depending on like the format or like the tournament itself. Like they can be at the same format and they're gonna change their deck list like 5 times.
I do like the innovation though. I just think it isn't enough. You know, like I didn't really want to play this deck, to be honest. I'm not really that big of a fan of the format because it's just like, do you have draw? Or okay, do you have the core bite to draw or the cross out? No, okay, or like I'm gonna charmy you. Do you have the ash or cross out or core bite or something like that? It's like I don't like those like high ceiling formats where it's all or nothing.
Yeah,
I like more of a technical, like a lower ceiling format, like pure Mitsurugi essentially. But unfortunately, I don't think that can win. You know, it can do well. You can be really technical and a really good player, and you can do really well with it. But I don't think it can win, and that's like it's evident in the data that like Malice and then Mitsurugi Risal are basically still the two decks that are winning most of the tournaments.
Yeah, their ceiling level is way too high, and it's like they always put their opponents in the position where, okay, you need to have like the perfect hands to beat me, otherwise I will like proactively destroy you. That's the issue.
I also didn't want to play Malice because initially I thought about Malice because to play it because the theory is that everyone's maining 3 draws, so there's 3 games that you can get drawled, but there's only 2 games that you can get Landseared, right? So these silver bullet cards, you know, you can only get hit with 2 games out of 3 with Malice instead of 3 games out of 3.
Yeah.
But like if you have certain hands with Mitsurugi Risal, especially Ice, if you start with Ice, you can mitigate draw quite a lot. There's also Core by Crossout and Talent somewhat mitigates draw. There's cards that mitigate draw quite well. It's the other reason is that Malice still bricks quite a bit. Malice bricks a little bit more than Mitsurugi Risal, so I preferred the old.
And I think Ryzeal Mitsurugi has an engine that has a higher likelihood of naturally cracking through boards in case you draw 0-9 engine against like those fair decks. Whereas like I feel like Malice, like its engine is just like significantly weaker into like big boards, you know?
So yeah, sometimes you just lose to like a 3 mat detonator, you know, even if you draw them. That's why people like have been playing like the Italian nationals. They've been playing Metatronus again in Malice. I thought that was pretty cool because I don't know if you saw it. They played Metatronus with Tsuchinoko, so it's for Murakumo because it's a reptile. So you can Metatronus Murakumo, or you can just use Tsuchinoko as like a body that draws because the deck needs to draw engine a bit more. And also, if you Murakumo effect while you have Tsuchinoko in hand, then you can pitch it and have an extra body.
That's pretty interesting. Okay. Oh. Nah, I mean, obviously that card is like it can do like so much. Yeah.
I felt like there are some innovations, but I still, in the end, like, after considering everything, I still went back to this deck because I think it's still, you know, probably the best deck. And the other innovations within the format was just more towards pure Mitsurugi, like slightly less Ryzeal cards, and people were playing Mirror as well, Mitsurugi Mirror.
I have started to see actually Cormac Adams. He won the event with like Ryzeal Mitsu, but with like way less hand traps and with like pre-rep and mirror. That was like very interesting. I'm like, it's kind of like pure Mitsu in a way, but like also with Ryzeal cards.
Just throw in some Ryzeal cards. I saw that list in some of the other nationals, and I considered it. And the Mitsurugi Mirror makes you play through Perulia really, really well. You give them just one draw, I think, and you end on like I can't remember what you end on exactly, but you end on like 3 or 4 interruptions, and you play into Fuvalos a little bit better. You give them one less draw, but I just didn't want the brick. In the end, like I was considering that the day before, I just did not want the brick.
I think the main
And
issue is like you're adding so many redundancy cards, like redundant cards to your deck. It's like, how many Habakiris do you want to play in your deck? Like, it's imagine if you I don't know, like you end up with like 9 of them. It's not really that. It's just like almost every card leads to like the same starter. So I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it's like there's like not really a choke point, but yeah, kind of actually like a bottleneck where it's like if like one thing doesn't pass, then you're basically doing nothing, and everything relies on like that one specific play that it has to.
There has been games like that, and it does really suck. Like it's especially. Oh, the other reason I consider Malice is because they can side mistaken arrest. So like when they go first, they have 6 draws essentially, and it really hurts. Actually, the only match I lost in Swiss was against a live twin player that basically like game 2 I won game 1, game 2 he mistaken arrested me, game 3 he drawed me. He drawed me at like a very pivotal point. This deck can mitigate draw really, really well, depends on the hands. But sometimes if you get that hand where you just have X Ryzeal or like 7 Tachyon, and you obviously don't have like core buy and etc. Or cross out, and you don't have like talents. You don't have like even draw. Like sometimes if you get draw but you have draw in your hand, it can be really good. But live twin, they don't care about draw, which is one of their like. In fact, like I can't remember in game 3 he like no in game 2 I charmed him and he drawed. That's like it's one of the only decks that can do that. You know, they draw themselves and then carry on comboing.
Yeah, because yeah, I know Malice they could do the same like into the chummies. Like they still play draw like for their opponent, but also for themselves. Yeah, obviously Evil Twin they don't really care about draw at all, but they do care about Nibiru. But obviously it plays into their favor that Nibiru is losing in popularity because Malice can beat Nibiru, and obviously Ryzeal Mitsurugi it just eats Nibiru for breakfast.
Yeah, it does, yeah. So that was my decision with like choosing the deck. If I look at the deck and some of the choices, I don't have to explain most of these, but I guess the only one of the first ones is instead of 6 Charmies, I played 5. I sided a third Perulia. I just didn't want that many drawing that many Charmies going first.
Did you ever feel like it actually mattered like 2 or 3 Perulias, or like it ends up being the same?
No, I think it does matter a little bit because you draw them when you're going first slightly less. I used to play 6. I played it like I 6 out of regionals as well, but also Perulia isn't that good against a lot of the decks. So it's only like Mitsurugi Risal, not even pure Mitsurugi that good against. So sometimes it's only against Mitsurugi Risal that I pretty much side in the third. Oh, actually, I do side in the third against Malice as well because I just need everything against them.
Whoa, okay, it's funny because I actually try to side out Perulia against Malice because if they have like good hands, you don't draw more than 1 because they just do like the hair on your turn, and they can afford to like not do the Adagnistra stuff.
It's just so you can draw into the other stuff, right? Like I'm using when I'm siding against Malice, I'm putting in Lanciers, putting in the Meows, putting in the Perulia, putting in the 2 Lightning Storms, I'm putting in Nibiru, right? So I'm basically like playing an almost board breaker version, but like you try to draw into some of them. Like the Nibs, the Lightning Storm. So like they end in a half board and you Lightning Storm them. If they carry on going, hopefully you have Nib. If they end on a half board, like things like Droplet as well can be really good on their White Binder.
That's interesting. So you keep in Droplet against them. So what do you even side out? You side out the 3 Drolls. You side out the
Drolls. The cross out, the core buy.
Okay, call buy.
Usually 1/7 Tachyon, Star Ryzeal, and cross out. Sorry, not cross out.
Aramasa.
Cross.
Oh, okay. Wow, you side a cross. Okay.
Yeah, because it's not like the thing is with against Malice, you kind of have to overwhelm them or OTK them, right? You don't really have a grind game, you know. Once they
there is a way. I was actually my next question was, did you ever feel like you needed Ragnar Infinity? Because I do not OTK them. Usually, I kind of like half break the board, and then my last action is 7 Tachyon, search Lancia past turn.
See, no, because I had that card in the past in the side deck, but the issue is when you when you use 7 Tachyon, um, you with Lancia, you kind of still have to have a board. Lancia is not like a win-all against them.
I
If they have
know.
the Adignista stuff, like you're going -1 with the 7 Tachyon, and you technically -1 with the Lancia, and if they can still do Adignista plays and on top logical dragon and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
you don't have a board, you don't have engine, that's not good enough either. Like, and if you get drawled, obviously you can't 7 Tachyon into Lancia anyway.
It's funny
So
because
like
the
in the
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, in the past, I think it was better without the Adignista stuff. But right now, it's not because Lancia is just not like a just throw it down and just win against Malice anymore. I don't think it's good enough.
Yeah, you're not wrong, but the issue that I've had personally was that I would I would actually break the board. Like that wasn't really much of an issue. Like I actually don't even find the Malice board itself to be like unbreakable. The issue is I don't like I end with useless bodies that are meaningless, but I do have
Mm.
bodies, and I just need something that is unfair so that my bodies will actually turn into like something that is relevant for next turn. And I do feel like if I go 7 Tachyon, last action, search Lancia, it does give me somewhat of a chance. Like, whereas if I didn't have that option, now it's like, it's OTQ or nothing, or it's like make 7 disruptions or nothing, which is unrealistic, because I'm usually not making big boards, because Duo Drive is never resolving going second. They're always banishing it, and then, you know, Murakumo is always getting banished, so you're never going to have the Regeki on the return. That's the reason why I'm saying you have, like, literally irrelevant bodies. If you summon Detonator, it's getting banished, except if you can self-destruct. So, you know, like, you have, like, maybe, like, a Habakiri, some random bullshit monstrous thing around on the field, but, like, searching Lancia allows me to just, like, survive, and then if they don't do
You make a good
enough...
point. You make a good point. It's very possible. Personally, I haven't had that experience to
Okay.
need 7 Tachyon to go into a Lancia. But like you're right though. If I go Charmy and like into like that, like make them go into half board, and then I already have engine, and I don't need that 7 Tachyons for anything else apart from Lancia. There's also other thing like I side out 1/7 Tachyon, so I don't have it as much going second
Because you
against
only play
Malice.
2 anyways, but yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
I was playing 3 and I wasn't even siding it out at all. That's the reason why for me it was different, but obviously for you, you know.
See, I need more non-engines now. Like I don't think the deck has that much issues with bricking, especially when going second, especially when you're pairing it with Charmy, so you're drawing a lot more. So I just need to hit those cards that really affect them rather than having more engine.
Mm.
I don't think there's anything else in the main deck that needs explaining. It's just the 2 flex spots that I found was Droplet.
That's the
Now,
thing.
originally, most people play Prosperity and the 3rd Perulia. I think that's fine. I just find Prosperity like not very good going second, and the whole aspect of I think that the theory is that you use Prosperity to dig into Core Buy or Crossout. But the thing is, like, let's say you have Ice, right? You don't have any other Ryzeal cards. So instead of just going Ice first and then search, or like because you don't go into Star, because otherwise you you can't really play on. Let's say you Prosperity trying to dig out for one of the 2 cards first, and if you don't get it, you get drawled, and then it's just like, okay, well, that's like terrible, really.
Yeah.
So I didn't really want to do that, and like I said, it's not very good again going second. The other option that I tested with and almost went with is Gamma. And Driver mained, and then 2 Delta in the side, and also instead of Exciton Knight, I'd play either Omega or Haggard Lizard. Probably Omega. Because
Yeah.
like what happens is you have so many cards going for obviously Gamma is great going second, but you have so many cards going first that lets them drop any hand trap, one of the big hand traps, without you having committed a monster. So for example, like Habakiri, you know, its effect, or you
Yeah, they're for sure ashing
bonfire,
Saji or they're drawing on res. I completely agree. Everything you're saying makes sense. Like, if you resolve Gamma on, like, your own turn while you have nothing, usually it's unfair, but, like, obviously if the extra deck space is tight and you can't really do anything with those 2 bodies, that's the issue. That's the reason why, obviously, Omega in a perfect world is the best, because if you get lucky, you actually rip another hand trap from their hand.
Yeah, like, actually in testing, I went Habakiri, and he goes Fuvalos, I drop Gamma, and then I make Omega, and I rip his draw, and then I just carry on playing. I mean, that's just crazy, right?
Nasty.
And like technically, you can go 7 tacky and put back the if you draw the driver or
Yeah.
something like that. It's rare, but
You have to like
it's something.
build around it. That like you would have to you would literally have to play 3/7 Tachyon, and yeah, you'd have to like also like always turbo out like Divine Dragon Dragluxion, so that there's always like
And
something that you do.
Delta is good against the Mitsurugi decks as well. To hit the ritual spell. It's not that good. See, I was thinking like it's not that good versus Malice, right? Because they don't really need to play a spell to do most of their combo.
Like the field spell, but it's like you
happen-
can only activate one per turn, so they can just activate another one.
Yeah. What? Oh yeah, that's true. What did happen during testing once, but it's like very, very unlikely. Really, is like I had Delta when I think I Fuva lost them and they didn't end up much, and then I went Lightning Storm, and for their back row they had Mistaken Arrest, and I chained Delta. Like that's the only like that was
Actually
really
ridiculous.
dirty. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, but I don't think that warrants that very niche situation warrants you having Delta in against Malice, which doesn't like it's much better having like Nib or like Lancia or like just like meows and stuff.
Yo, hear me out. Hear me out. Epsilon for Harpy's Featherstorm.
Yeah, so
you didn't hear that at all.
That's one of the reasons why I didn't go with Gamma in the end, and also because it's again like let's say you use cross draw right in the middle of your combo or at the end, and you don't want to draw into Charmies. You don't want to draw like Gamma is similar to that, right? You draw into like nothing essentially. So I didn't want that. Like Gamma is good like as an opening card or when they're going second, but then if you draw it later on, it's with Dugaras or something like that. It's pretty bad.
Card, yeah.
Now, Droplet isn't actually that good going first either. It's kind of bad, but there have been some situations where if I get drawed, and I just have Droplet and I can Droplet their first play, and then I can still use the dead hand traps, the dead charmies like Fugalos and stuff like that. So that helps a little bit, but most of all, it's because when I have all these charmies and I'm drawing, I want to draw into things that actually do something to their board, like the droplets, like the lightning storms and things like that.
Yeah, and also Droplet is like a card that is like randomly good against like rogue decks like Blue Eyes, where they go like Drill Beam, negate, and then you just go Droplet, and then you get like the actual real full value. So Drill Beam doesn't negate, and then you also negate their spirit.
I expected that a lot because it is UK nationals or the big European nationals. European events in general, unlike American events, it's not like just the top 2 decks. You get a lot of variety of randomness, right? So I thought, okay, I didn't want more Charmies into them. I didn't want I wanted a mixture of hand traps and just like the board breaker, right? The board breaker being Droplet, Core by Talent kind of thing, and I think they work quite well with the Charmies. Unfortunately, I the only non-Malice and Mitsurugi deck that I played was one Tenpai going second and one Live Twin. Like those are the only. Everything else was like Mitsurugi and Malice, which was kind of surprising. One more thing with the Droplet is that when you go in second, right? So if your first action is a search,
I know Droll, because you have turn clear priority. I know.
Yeah, and then you basically store draw for one more search.
Well, for one more search, exactly. It's relevant in certain situations. I think it's you don't want your first search to be what again? Like X. Obviously, X into sword. Yeah, that's not really good. But if you can like ensure the ice.
You don't want it to be 7 Tachyon really.
Yeah.
It depends on. It depends on your hand. And
if you can do like 7 Tachyon, search ice, and then you go Droll, and then you go normal ice, summon swords, set, and then you go do a drive, and then you make a rank 4, you can actually negate the Droll if you're not scared of Nibiru.
Yeah.
Because nobody's playing Nibiru anyway, so you might as well just use her cross to negate Droll instead of holding it for Nibiru.
Nibiru like is usually sided out against Mitsurugi Risal unless you're going first. If you're going first, it's still good. If you're going second, it's not really good.
Yep, exactly. And obviously, Nibiru, by the way, just so that everybody knows, if you're watching this video, this is important. Nibiru will never be less than a 1-of because of Galen Granite. So every single
Yeah.
Ryzeal deck will always be playing at the very minimum 1 Nibiru. That's something you can 100% count on. And by the way, I had a question. So your Droplet, it's an interesting card because I thought about it. When I deck build, my goal is to have as much overlap as possible. And I noticed that Ryzeal Mitsurugi and just Ryzeal decks in general, they really struggle with Light and Dark Chaos Angels. And with Imperm losing popularity, Light and Dark Chaos Angel is an issue. So Forbidden Droplet, is it something that you actually thought about, or and you were like, oh, okay, like another reason to play Droplet, or you just didn't care about it and you just don't believe in it?
I did. So it was thought about, but I've not, like, in testing before UK Nationals, I've not been Chaos Angeled like at all, so I didn't really think about it. That is one of the things I thought about when I took out Imperms, because I thought Imperm just wasn't very good this format. It's very hit or miss, especially with this kind of strategy. So I know it did not happen to me running up to Nationals, but this I played a few games just for fun, like today, and I took out the Droplet for Gamma and Driver just to, like, have a little mess around again. And the guy was playing Fiendsmith Mitsurugi, and I had a pretty good board, but he did a cool play that we've known about in the past, and he had Engraver in a graveyard, and he had Requiem, and he activates Engraver, chains Requiem, and I negate Requiem, and he just normal summon Kusanagi, makes Chaos Angel. Sorry, I cross negate the Requiem.
Yeah.
So and on resolution, Engraver summons. He normal summons Kusanagi, and then makes Chaos Angel, and I couldn't out it because I didn't have Droplet in the deck.
That's
I literally
absurd.
could not out it at all.
And if he never uses a monster effect, he'll never play into Talent. That's the real issue.
Yeah,
it's like you look at Talent and you're like, oh, that's an out, but it's not really an out. There is one natural mechanical out to Chaos Angel that I made a video about it. It's Hope Harbinger.
Oh.
It's a mechanical out to Chaos Angel. You're not outing the Chaos Angel, you're killing your opponent through it. So essentially what you do is your Mitsurugi combo, you make Dragluxion, and then, you know, you Ryzeal combo, you have Duo Drive, you got Detonator with Twins underneath, and then you got Harbinger attack. You go Duo Drive, Battle Phase, Crash, and then Harbinger effect, gain 25, Detonator, Crash, Harbinger effect, gain 3000, Twins of the Eclipse, revive back, Detonator, Crash, and then you have an 11,500 attack Harbinger, and when you attack over the 3,500 attack Chaos Angel, that's exactly 8,000 damage, and it's a 1-card combo. All you need is Habakiri or Prayers.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a really nice combo. Yeah, and all you need is Harbinger. It's like very minimal commitment. If you don't ever want to play an out to Chaos Angel, at the very minimum, play Harbinger or Underworld Goddess.
Like, there's not that much space for that sort of stuff. Even, like, most people have taken out Harbinger, which at the beginning I thought, okay, what if they just imperm the Divine Dragon? I can't pronounce his name. The Divine Golden Dragon.
Yeah.
Yes. So, like, there has been lines where if you start with the Mitsurugi stuff and then you make Divine Dragon to get into your Ryzeal stuff by searching Tachyon, if they imperm that, you're thinking to yourself, like, okay, well, now the Murakumo is stuck underneath the XYZ monster, so, like, even if you have prayers, it's not going to do anything. Like, there has been, like, that situation, but fortunately enough, it has not happened, because Imperm is not that popular anymore. You're right. So, but the thing is, go back to your original question: does it worry me, Chaos Angel? Not so much, because obviously, if I don't have Droplet and they have it, then it does worry me. But, like, if you flip it, if you flip it as, like, you're the person with the Chaos Angel, right? Would you play a Fiendsmith deck in this format with Mitsurugi just to have that scenario? But, like, do you count on Chaos Angel anything other than the grind game? Because, like, you don't know if they have Imperm or not.
Chaos Angel is supposed to be the last desperation move that you do.
Yeah.
You're not doing it because you think you're about to, like, win the game right away. You think it because if you don't do it, then you lose. That's, like, the way I see it.
Yeah, that's true. That's usually when it happens. But then it's like, it's very weird that you have to decide when you go for the push as well, because, like, you don't know if they have Imperm in the deck, so you don't know.
I swear to God, it's Mystic Mind 2.0, huh?
Yeah, a little bit, like a worse version.
Yeah, it's outable by engine. kind
I
of.
think the side deck doesn't need that much explaining apart from okay, the one nib is just for Malice and non Ryzeal decks essentially. So I was expecting like a lot of other rogue like Live Twin and things like that. So that's when that goes in. Lightning Storm and Harpies, it's very good paired with like the Charmies to go into Mitsurugi Risal because like a lot of their interruptions, one of the best is in the back row if they want to press Murakumo. And there's the cross negate as well, so you just get rid of a bunch of that. And of course, it goes well into other matchups like random rogue as well. I keep saying rogue because, like I said, European nationals that there is a lot of it, but surprisingly, I didn't really face that many.
No.
The other choice was the Solemn. So originally, the format started with people playing the oppressive traps, right? Like Harpy, Featherstorm, or you frost into gnomes or I guess like D-barrier and things like that.
Yeah.
So I originally was thinking of doing that, but I decided against it because you have to have frost, they have to have no ash, and you have to like make the Featherstorm guy, Castell, right? You have to like if you go X'd and you get drawed there, you have to summon the sword. So you get rid of your follow up. You have to you have to hope Frost goes through that they don't ash, and you get rid of your follow up for the Featherstorm.
It's
It's
awkward.
obviously like
Yeah.
things like Solemn, Warning, and Judgment is not as good as a Resolve Featherstorm, but it's less risk.
Yep. That's the reason why people play them. It's just because it's minimal
Yeah,
commitment. It's like good against
yeah.
everyone, regardless of like your hand. However, I will say this, right? And this is
Mm.
important. Once we get Duelist Advance, there will be a new Xyz monster for Ryzeal to dump. That is Valon the Sky Blaster. So rank 5 monster, whenever it's sent to the graveyard, you target a face down card on the field and you destroy it. And because of
Oh, that's
that,
pretty crazy.
it's really dangerous. It's aggregator for back row. It's terrifying.
That's crazy.
It's really scary
Wow.
because what it means is solemn cards will get forced out at the speed of light. So now you
Yeah,
actually need lingering stuff. So
yeah, you
all the
do,
logic that exists right now, I think it's about to change completely very, very soon.
No, yeah. I didn't know about this card. Yeah, you're completely right. Like something like that changes everything.
Mhm.
X Rise was just so good.
Oh, actually, I have a
Um,
question for you. You probably know this. If I summon X-Ryzeal, I dump whatever, and I get Solemn Warning, very specifically on the summon of X-Ryzeal, can I X-Ryzeal again?
that's never happened actually. I think so. I think they changed this, but I can't remember what they changed it to.
Yeah, I
So
know, like, you know, Kagari, Blue Eyes Alternative White
yeah,
Dragon. I know
yeah,
exactly what you're talking about. You know, like
yeah.
a failed special summon does not count as, you know, like, oh, you can only special summon this card once per turn. You know, like you can try again.
Yeah.
Same
So
thing with summon limit, right? Like failed
mm,
summons do not count.
yeah, I think that's what it says on the card. So I'd need to double check, but if it works like Kagari and like Solemn Strike on Kagari, the summon,
Hmm.
then I guess you can do it again.
I think so, and
Uh,
that's really
yeah,
scary because it means that X-Ryzeal is religiously beating Solemns left and right.
yeah,
It's actually terrifying. Like you want a judgment strike or warning the summon very specifically because if you don't, like you lose your solemn and my
mm,
X-Ryzeal is searching. Like I'm basically just outing your one of the most powerful cards in the game for absolutely free. Like this is not good.
mm.
Like you need lingering cards. Like Mischief of the Gnomes, I think once we get Duelist Advance, will be one of the most popular cards in everybody's side deck. That and Dimensional Barrier. Dimensional Barrier calling Seas against Ryzeal Gagaga will be your best friend.
I understand that you do definitely need that in that scenario. It does push that, but I don't think that's healthy for the game. Like
Oh,
lingering
no, it's
effects.
horrible for the game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like with Solemns and stuff, you can outplay people. You can hope that they use the resources wrong, and you can still play. It's not over. But with things like Featherstorm, D-Barrier, some decks just can't handle it.
I don't even
The
know
other,
why
the other
Konami even prints those cards. It's so stupid. It's like they make the same
yeah,
mistake every time. It's so dumb. Nobody wants those cards around. It's so stupid.
yeah. Oh, they've got to sell cards. They've got to sell packs. So they'll
Yeah, they
keep
have
power
to.
the cards.
But like most
The
of them are
other,
old cards that people are tired of seeing.
yeah, that's true. No, they do print some new ones, right? They do like
Now they're all hand traps. It's like chummies and stuff. Like those are the lingering
yeah.
cards. Like
No,
Shifter,
no, there are some like there's not that new, but I remember when Branded was popular that some people played like a
Simul
trap card.
Archfiends? No,
No,
not
no,
Simul.
no, no,
Okay.
no. But that's relatively new as well.
Yeah.
Like it's older than that. Actually, no, it's quite an old card. I'm bugging. It's quite an old card. Like I think I forgot the name, but
It's not
it's
Grave of the Super Ancient Organism. It's not that. It's not
no,
non-fusion
no, no, it's
area.
not. It's a normal trap. You tribute a fusion monster, and then they can't fusion ritual link or whatever like for 2 turns.
It's not
For two
Grisaille
turns.
Prison. It's not that one.
Yeah, I think it is something prison. Yeah, like
Grisaille Prison has a different effect. It's like a weird D barrier, but like it covers two things. It's like fusion and synchro, I think, or like synchronic sea, something like that. If you control like a fusion,
like that.
synchro, whatever, tribute summon, it's weird.
But it's another lingering thing, and it lasts for 2 turns as well. Like something like that resolves, it's game over.
Yeah, there are like so many like BS cards that are like that at this point. Yeah.
So I'm glad they got rid of Dweller. That definitely needs
Step
to
number
go.
one. Yeah, I know. Anything that lingers should not exist in Yu-Gi-Oh! It's just like those cards are just.
Some has to. I think Draw has to.
I don't know, man. Nah. It's like just
is,
make the game better.
exist.
It's like I know, but like just the thing is, Droll justifies the existence of unfair decks that shouldn't exist. So the way I see it is, we should get rid of Droll so that the problem is easier to identify, and it's easier for Konami to be like, oh, okay, actually,
all those decks.
well, yeah,
Like,
yeah, it has to happen. No, not Dark World. No, not Dark World. Dark World's actually unfair without Droll.
There is one reason to play like the oppressive traps over solemns, and I actually did like it. It took quite a bit of theory for me to actually put in the solemns over the and it's space as well. Put it over the like the frosts and like the feather storms and stuff like that. Like for example, if you get charmed when you're going first, right? But you know you can probably get into Featherstorm, then you're just full sending it. You just don't care. You just carry on going. If you're going to Featherstorm anyway, then or D-Barrier or whatever, then you don't really care.
I mean, yeah.
But with Solemn, you can't. You basically just stop on Detonator and set Solemn.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you can't afford to be like aggressive anymore, you know. But like obviously, if your hand is unfair, like we saw that in like the top 4 of YCS Rhode Island, Charlie Futch against the pure Mitsurugi guy. He just accepted the Chummy challenge. Gave him like 10 draws, whatever, but he had droll. So he's like, all right, now I'll droll you. And like he emptied out his hand like super quickly.
Yeah. I think that's it. I don't think there's really anything else that needs explaining. I guess
double check it. I was looking at your deck list on my phone because obviously my my screen has to be used to record. I mean, yeah, there's a Tornado Dragon, which is not really that unique. Evilswarm Ouroboros, I feel like that's the kind of card you look in your extra deck, you never summon it.
The extra deck is not unique at all. I think the only decision I had was Ouroboros or Code Igniter. I think that the one that Ritual summons, right?
That card's actually kind of cool, yeah.
That like so many lines get to Ouroboros, like either just 1 rip or 2 rip. And like there was that Tenpai player that I played that let me go first twice. No. Game 1 I went first. And I knew what his deck sort of was because he drew a 6 card in his opening hand, and he was forced to randomly put one back, but he has to show me. And he showed me like a board breaker. So I thought like, okay, I can go for Ouroboros now. And in game 2 I realized he was on Tenpai. And then he let me go first, and I Ouroboros like rip him twice as well.
That's the thing with Ouroboros. It's like it punishes the existence of board breaker decks so much that it forces you to play hand traps, and it's like it creates such a bad like dynamic for Yu-Gi-Oh. This is the reason why I think this game sucks right now. If you play board breakers, you lose to Ouroboros and like the hard negates, like searching Great Purification and stuff like that. Just like you end up having like no actual cards in your hand. Like even if you 6-card combo your opponent, you still lose.
Yeah.
And then
you can play board breakers, but you have to resolve a Charmy.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
it's like it's so stupid. Like the thing is, imagine drawing the board breakers without the Charmies, and imagine drawing the Charmies with like, but like they get ashed and then you still lose. Like it's just like, how are you fixing Yu-Gi-Oh? It's like Yu-Gi-Oh cannot be solved at the current moment. It's a pick your poison kind of game.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think like they have to do a lot with the ban list to reduce the ceiling of decks. So that like I would love a format where it's like slow, like Orcust, Fiendsmith, Mitsurugi, you know? Like a lot slower.
Oh, you'll bring
Like
back
those kind of decks.
2019 toss format.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Uh,
Those decks
but for that, like,
deserve to exist.
yeah.
Honestly,
But that, like
I know this might sound
X-Ryzeal
crazy, but I think pure Fiendsmith is like the epitome of like what Yu-Gi-Oh should be. Imagine pure Fiendsmith Sky Striker, and exactly as you said, you know, like Orcust, whatever, Mitsurugi. Maybe not all the like Orcust, Mitsurugi, Fiendsmith would be like one heck of a pile deck, but I think combo decks can deserve to exist.
Yeah, some can. Yeah.
Some can, some can. But like my issue is like Ryzeal Mitsurugi. Yeah, that's like unreasonably unfair. Like that's actually just a stupid deck.
If you're telling me like, especially like now X can negate anything face up or pop a back row, yeah, it's doing too much. It can send twins. It's doing too much.
Yeah, no,
it needs a ban.
Bro, dumping the Xyz is like better than anything else it does. It's like this is like absolutely stupid. It's like you're basically playing like another board breaker when you have X Ryzeal in your deck. It just makes it like so much better.
And it's because you chain block as well, so you can't even ash the X. So they're definitely at least getting into sword.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much.
For sure.
Probably going to sleep now.
All right, I'll stop the recording now. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. Yo, Simon, do you have any last words before we finish this video?
Such as what?
Such as Crystron best deck.
Yeah, Crystron best deck.
There you go, fantastic.
Yacine
best deck. Yeah, that's big facts. All right, I'll see you guys eventually soon enough, and peace.